Never sell your Bitcoin, right?
And my last point to you, you do not sell your Bitcoin. Thank you.
Sounds great when you're a billionaire, right? But what if you're all in on Bitcoin and still need some fiat? Bitcoin-backed loans might be a solution here.
We're basically a Bitcoin-backed lending marketplace, right, which allows Bitcoiners to never sell their Bitcoin.
It's like what the rich do. Like they don't sell their assets, they short fiat basically, and go long on the assets they think that appreciate in value.
You lock up your Bitcoin as a collateral, you get fiat as a loan. You could, for example, also buy more fiat with that loan. If the price goes up, you repay your loan and you walk away with free fiat, or you could also keep the extra BTC. You're not selling, you're still holding, and in many cases, depending on the country and jurisdiction, there's no taxes involved.
Basically, we are not holding your Bitcoin. We are not even transacting the fiat transactions or, the payments and all that.
I talked to the guys from Firefish who offer a non-custodial peer-to-peer solution for Bitcoin-backed loans.
We're going for the toximalistic way in the German market. So we're going
Toximalistic.
I myself, I'm using it and need it. And I think it's a very helpful solution.
If that sounds interesting to you, you can check it out via the link in the description. I'd earn a 0.5% commission on any loans you take at no extra cost for you, and you'd support my channel. But this is not financial advice. There is risk involved. Always do your own research. I don't want anyone to get into something they don't fully understand. For a commission, that's not at all my goal. If you would disappear for whatever reason, I don't know, is it still going to work? Are we still safe as a customer? Igor, Finn, nice to see you. You working on Firefish. You are the founder, is that right?
Yes, I'm the co-founder, and Finn is Finn is our ambassador, taking care of our German-speaking countries.
Great. Could you maybe explain what Firefish does?
So we are basically a Bitcoin-backed lending marketplace, right, which allows Bitcoiners to never sell their Bitcoin, and instead of selling their Bitcoin, they can take a collateralized loan, right? So you use your Bitcoin as a collateral and receive a loan either in fiat currency like euros, Swiss francs, and so forth, or in stablecoins. And as it's a marketplace, we are not actually the lender ourselves. There are investors or lenders basically who are providing the liquidity, right? So you can act on the platform as the borrower taking a loan, or you can be the investor who is actually investing into the Bitcoin-backed loans.
Interesting, yeah. Is that how the rich do that? They don't sell, they lend against what they have?
Yeah, exactly. It's like what the rich do. Like they don't sell their assets, they short fiat basically, and go long on the assets they think that appreciate in value.
And you offer durations until 18 months, right? Like hodlers may want to have a longer period. Are you working on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely one of the first comments of any user, like, hey, I want to borrow for 4 years because of the cycle and all that. So currently at this point in time, due to various reasons, we're supporting loans up to 18 months, but we are working on longer term loans as well. At the same time, what very many borrowers do actually is they're rolling their loans, right? So just before the maturity of their first loan, they lock another part of their collateral, get a new loan, repay the previous one, and keep on rolling it like this ad infinitum, basically.
Interesting, yeah. So you're not a custodian. So who is the custodian then?
Mr. Satoshi is the custodian. No, I'm joking. So yes, our platform is actually non-custodial, what we call non-custodial. Basically, we are not holding your Bitcoin. We are not even transacting the fiat transactions or, the payments and all that. The way it works, we've created actually something what we call Firefish protocol, which is a combination of multi-sigs, pre-signed Bitcoin transactions and time locks. So you could call it like a almost a smart contract on layer one, on Bitcoin layer one. So there's no bridging, no wrapping, no funky stuff going on in the back of the code. So basically, your Bitcoin, you as the borrower, you generate an escrow address to which you lock your Bitcoin, and you pre-sign transactions that are limiting the way Bitcoin can be spent from that escrow address, right?
Could you explain escrow?
Escrow, you can imagine it literally as a vault or as an address where your Bitcoin is locked. So you literally create an address, you send your Bitcoin to that address, and Bitcoin can be moved from that particular address only under certain certain conditions. So, for example, if you repaid your loan, Bitcoin is moved back to you. If you do not repay your loan, you default, for example, then your Bitcoin would get liquidated. So we're actually limiting. There are only 2 addresses that Bitcoin can be moved. There's no rehypothecation of your collateral. We can't send it anywhere. We can't send it to ourselves. So it's secure by design, I would say, by the code.
And that's a smart contract or not?
You could call it a smart contract, yes. I mean, I guess smart contracts are a bit more, as the term itself, popular in the crypto space, right, or DeFi space. But literally, the combination of the native scripts of Bitcoin, like multisigs, as I mentioned, present transactions and time logs, the combination of it, we call it also actually a 3 of 3 multisig, right? The combination you could call, a smart contract.
Yeah, and so. As far as I understand, the borrower has one signature, then the oracles, like the payment mechanism. How does that work? Could you explain that?
Yeah, so without going into maybe too much of the technicalities, basically there are 3 keys, right? What is also important to mention is that the lender actually doesn't have the key, right? And which is on one hand maybe counterintuitive, like okay, how am I going to protect the collateral against my investment? But at the same time, it also enables people who are not Bitcoin native to participate in the marketplace as the investors. So, for example, my mom, I always use the example of my mom. She's using the platform because her only role is literally to send the money to the borrower and receive the money back, and then just confirm that the money has been received. So those 3 keys basically are generated and basically used at the very beginning of the loan when you're locking your Bitcoin. The first key is yours as the borrower. It is also a very specific type of key, which is ephemeral key, meaning that key actually disappears after your Bitcoin is locked, and the additional 2 keys belong.
Sorry, the key disappears and then it pops up again, or
no, it's ephemeral, right? So literally, you use it only once to pre-sign all these transactions, and then you can throw it away. You don't need the key anymore because those transactions are already pre-signed, right? Once those transactions are pre-signed, we wait to certain conditions like repayment of the loan or default or liquidation, where Bitcoin moves basically. So the other 2 keys then belong to what we call oracles. One is price oracle, who is checking the price of Bitcoin because obviously the value of the collateral always has to be higher. By default, it's 50% LTV, right? So loan to value. If you borrow, let's say 10,000, then you need to deposit Bitcoin worth of 20,000. And the third key goes to what we call payment oracle. And payment oracle is basically an entity that is, which is at this point in time processed by us in Firefish, which is an entity that is checking whether the fiat transaction happened or not, right? So if me as the lender sends you the money, I confirm that yes, money has been sent. You as the borrower says yes, I have received the money. Then the payment oracle says okay, the loan is active, right? So these transactions are pre-signed, and there's always one signature missing exactly from one of these oracles.
And is there no way of manipulating that? The price, for example, who's determining the price and the conditions?
Yeah, I mean the price feeds are very crucial obviously for this. So we don't want to kind of be impacted by some flash crash or something similar when an exchange kind of breaks down or something like that. So that's why we use an aggregated feed from multiple venues. I think it's 8 or 9 different venues. We also filter out the values that are like extremes, like too high or too low. We also look at the volume traded on these venues and all that. So we do have a mechanism actually that is trying to make sure that the price feed is valid and we get the right and correct data for Bitcoin price.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. And how's the German community? Is it interesting for German community how they're responding?
Yeah, like that's actually a thing. We're going for the toximalistic way in the German market. So we're going
toximalistic.
Yeah, that's what I would call it, toximalistisch. So we're approaching the Bitcoin community, the 21 community, like the Bitcoin guys basically. And it's really like you on the conference, I'm really getting all the time very positive feedback. I myself, like I'm using it and need it, and I think it's a very helpful solution. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I find it also myself very interesting. So last question would be though, if you would disappear for whatever reason, like, I don't know, is it still going to work? Are we still safe as a customer?
Yeah, I guess the beauty of this is that we're really using native Bitcoin technology, right? As I said, multisigs, blockchain, and basically standard features that do not need our direct interaction. So in the worst case scenario that Firefish disappears, there is one of those transactions that you pre-sign as the borrower is what we call a recovery transaction or a zombie apocalypse scenario transaction, which helps you to withdraw the collateral in case Firefish oracles disappear, right? So your Bitcoin will actually never stay locked on the escrow address forever. You always have the option to withdraw it back, worst case scenario if Firefish disappears. So we also have some additional fallback procedures in case there are some, worst case scenario police/justice issues, which obviously I'm not saying that we do anything dodgy, but there are fallback procedures basically to make sure that users are not impacted by our disappearance, let's say.
How do you look at the development in Europe? It's not, let's say, the most easiest environment. How do you deal with that?
Honestly speaking, if we started Firefish again, I don't think we would start it in Europe because of the regulatory framework is just a nightmare. It's very, very difficult. And honestly speaking, we spend more time on building our regulatory or sort of legal framework for our business than building the protocol itself, right? So on one hand, Europe has a fantastic Bitcoin community. That's why we're really happy. We already kind of support 50 countries, not only in Europe but outside. So the community is really great, and really we wanted to bring a solution for Bitcoiners really to never having to sell their Bitcoin and use it as a collateral in a very, very secure way. So from this angle, definitely there's great potential in the market. We get great feedback really from our users, both from borrowers as well as investors. We're going to be bringing new features to the platform. Obviously, the payment systems are always a little bit of a pain, right? So like sending Bitcoin obviously is very easy, but then the fiat transactions might be a little trickier. So we're trying to kind of navigate this space. But otherwise, we'll see what obviously the MiCA regulation will bring. We might definitely need to comply with that. So we're working on it and all that. So otherwise, yes, as I said, we really, really appreciate the community in Europe.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Thanks for your time, for the input and all the success, and see you around.
Vielen Dank.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thank you.
93% of the viewers of this channel aren't subscribed. If you enjoy this content, a like, comment, and a sub really helps my content show up for others too. Thanks so much for your support.